Hey, what's up guys, it's Bakes and thanks for joining me for another one of my random horror reviews. In today's episode I got a movie that I feel like is one that's been kind of swept under the rug purely because the second film sort of just came out of nowhere and took the world by storm. So I feel like this one just doesn't get talked about as much anymore. Obviously you clicked on this video so you're going to know what film I'm talking about. Today I have Terrifier from the year 2018. Now, I just wanted to quickly clarify. On the back here it says 2018, but on some websites and Letterboxd it says 2016. But I did put a bit more research in. It says the official release date for the US was 2018, so I don't know if anyone's going to be like, oh, I thought it was earlier than 2018. I don't think it really matters, but either way, Terrifier from 2018. As I said, I feel like this movie kind of got swept under the rug, just purely off the success of Terrifier 2, it being such a low budget horror movie, everyone globally was talking about Terrifier 2, especially the mainstream. People that don't even really watch horror movies just seemed to know the go with Terrifier 2. But as I said, not a lot of people talk about this one. It kind of feels forgotten about. I'm sure a lot of people haven't even seen the original Terrifier, who have seen Terrifier 2, so this was an interesting one to go back and watch. This was a second time watch for this film. I've seen Terrifier 2 only the once, so I'm excited to get around to rewatching that as well. But before we get into my thoughts, let's quickly get into the plot for this movie. So it is pretty simple. It's a straightforward throwback to one of those basic slasher movies. It's Halloween night. These two girls are coming back from a party, I think. They're a little bit drunk, tired from the night, and they come across Art the Clown, this character here on the front. And as I said, it's pretty simple. It turns into a cat and mouse. Art is trying to find these girls, and of course he's picking off people along the way also. So it's pretty straightforward. Let's get into my thoughts of Terrifier. So where I want to start with my thoughts with Terrifier is unfortunately more so in the negatives, because as I said in my intro, this movie is relatively basic. It's just a cat and mouse chase between Art and these two girls through this abandoned building, and yes, he kills off some people in between and whatever. But this movie, at times, is honestly really slow, and this isn't a very long movie. It's only got a runtime of 84 minutes, so roughly an hour 20. And when Art isn't interacting with people, or, chasing these girls, or a kill is happening, I feel like a lot of those scenes in between drag, and it's almost just waiting, while nothing's happening just for a kill to come around the corner. And I'm going to rebuttal with how good the kills are, because I think that is definitely a highlight of this movie. It's just almost, you gotta prepare yourself to wait in between, at least in my case, I felt like a lot of this movie was just waiting for things to happen, unfortunately. I don't care about any of our characters in this one, which is kind of fine because these movies are pretty much designed just to show off effects and gore and have a really cool icon, which we'll also get into. But as I said, a lot of this movie I just feel like is waiting for things to happen. As I said, it's mostly one location through this abandoned building. It's more so the start of the movie that, we're in other locations, through the street at this pizza shop, and I think that pizza shop scene is just incredible. The way that Art interacts with these girls and the workers there. I'll get into that now. Art is just a modern horror icon. You can set that in stone. I think it's not too early to jump the gun. 2 movies of his own. He was in the anthology series All Hallows Eve before he got his solo movies, but I think he's just such a great horror character. I don't think it's too early to say that he is a modern horror icon. I just think he is super engaging whenever he's on screen. He's really creepy, the way that he's silent, but he can still express so much with his face. I think that's really good. But sort of to get back on track, I just feel like a lot of this movie is sort of just waiting while nothing's going on for some kills. And I'll get into the kills now because, as I said, that is something to highlight. Easily one of the best things about this movie is the gore and the effects and the kills, because it does not hold back. It's not afraid to show you people getting split in half, heads being cut off, blood, gore, everything that comes with it. And that's sort of why you watch these movies, you just want to see this creepy killer go around and take people out. And if that's what you want, you're going to get it from this movie. As I said, unfortunately, you just got to weigh up, because for me, I just feel like between kills, you're sort of just waiting around, and honestly, it does get a little bit slow. So I can already tell that this is going to be a pretty short review, just purely because, as I said, this movie is pretty straightforward. What you see is what you get. You're watching it to have fun and, see the gore, the kills, and art interact with these people and be creepy, and that's fine. A lot of the stuff is kind of what you expect. The acting in this one is quite shoddy at times. But as I said, that's to be expected, especially of a film with this kind of budget. You know that the acting for the most part won't be anything outstanding. Sometimes it does surprise you, but it's kind of on par with, the quality of production and quality of camera and the type of shots that you get. Nothing there is really going to dazzle you. As I said, you watch these kind of movies just for the effects and the kills and to have fun. And you're going to get plenty of fun with this one. One thing that I did want to highlight again with the negatives, and it is a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm not going to spoil who gets taken out by this kill. But there's a scene in this movie where a character is getting one up on Art the Clown, and you think, okay, the tables might turn here a little bit, and he pulls out a gun and shoots them. And, you might be thinking, what's so wrong with that? But if you're aware of who Art the Clown is, he has this supernatural kind of element and aura that follows him and goes around with him, and I don't know, it kind of takes me a little bit out of it when he is getting beaten on and then pulls out a gun and just makes the scene sort of end just like that. I don't find it to be very effective, and it's honestly a little bit of a disappointing kill, but that is something that I did want to bring up. Sorry for those who may have been spoiled by that. As I said, I didn't want to mention which character that happens to. I did like a certain beat in this movie. I feel like there's one element of this movie that is honestly quite reminiscent of Psycho, and you might be thinking, what the fuck, because Terrifier and Psycho, two almost totally different movies there. But hopefully, if you've seen this movie and you've seen Psycho, you know what I'm talking about. A certain beat with characters and everything. I'm not gonna spoil it go any deeper into that, but as I said, this movie, it's purely for fun. It's a popcorn movie, late at night, have some friends over, or sit by yourself like I did this time and just have fun with it. You're gonna have no holds back with the kills and the gore, and Art, he is so good when he's on screen. As I said, the guy that plays him, right on the tip of my tongue, David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown, so great. So let's get into the rating for this one now. As I said, kind of a shorter review, but I'm going to give Terrifier a 6.5. As I said, you can have so much fun with the kills and gore. Unfortunately, I just feel like it's the in-between scenes. A lot of the time you're just kind of, unfortunately, waiting for things to happen. And, some of those scenes are longer than others, and it kind of takes me at least a little bit out of it, but you can still have fun with this one. As I said, I feel like it's one that you can still get a lot of fun out of. I don't know why it got completely swept under the rug in comparison to Terrifier 2, because this one can still stand on its own. So if you haven't checked this one out, I definitely would recommend it. So there we go, guys. As I said, I'd just wrap it up there, kind of a shorter review. And I know I kept saying throughout this review, the movie is pretty straightforward and pretty basic, and I don't want people to take the term basic in the wrong way, because it doesn't mean that it's a bad movie. It's just, as I said, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. A lot of people enjoy these movies where it is just cat and mouse, this one killer chasing these people down and taking them out, and I very much like that too. I really do enjoy this movie. I just don't want anyone to take when I say this movie is pretty basic or straightforward, in the wrong way, because this movie is a lot of fun. As I said, it still holds its own merit in comparison to Terrifier 2. As I said, that movie took the world by storm, especially the mainstream, as I mentioned. I'll probably review that movie soon as well, because I picked up both Terrifier 1 and 2 on DVD at the same time, so I'm not going to promise when that video will come up, but I'm sure I'll get around to it sooner rather than later. But as I say, guys, thank you for joining me in today's random horror review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you for another video soon. Peace.